Okay, we're in the middle of a very, very Geshmaka Agadita. We're discussing the life of Rabbi Elazar Reb Shimon, right, and his death and his burial. And we saw that the Yisurim that he underwent, the Yisurim Shalava, and we went ahead and we had a Maisa at the end. That Rabbi saw the greatness of Reb Shimon ben Elazar. He said it was greater than him. He proposed marriage to Reb Shimon ben Elazar's wife, and she refused. And she said, because I know, Rebbe said, I know I'm not as great as him in Torah, but maybe I'm as great as him as what, as in Ma'asim Tovim. And she said, no, and he said, no, he went Yisurim and you did not have Yisurim. And so how do you know they were greater in learning? So they had a Maisa, they were sitting together and on the floor, they took them down. And the Rebbe was despondent. Rabbi Elazar Reb Shimon, anything that Rebbe said, Rabbi Elazar Reb Shimon preempted him. And his father, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, Rebbe's father said, I can't compare. He's an Ari, the son of an Ari. He's Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Shimon Bayachai. And you are the son of a shul, of a fox, me, Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. So commenting on that, on the bottom line of Hey Dalit on the base, the last line, behind the Rebbe, Shleisha, behind the Rebbe, that Rebbe said that there were Shloisha and the Sonim. There are three people who are Abba Sonim. Eluhain, who are the Abba, my father, who B'nai B'Seira, and B'nai B'Seira, we'll see in a second, Yonasan ben Shol. Okay, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel Hadamaran, that he said he's called himself a Shuel and not an Ari. B'nai B'Seira, Damamar, Beshivu B'Roish. Okay, what happened was we nailed Nasi Alein. It was a Maisa where the Karm Pesach Shabbos fell out. Yudalid rarely fell out on Shabbos. It fell out on Shabbos, and they didn't know if the Karm Pesach is Derech Shabbos. B'nai B'Seira did not know the answer to the question, and Hillel from Bavel knew the answer to the question. So since he knew the answer to the question, they installed Hillel as what? As the Nasi over themselves. So that's what it says. Hoshivuhu, go ahead and establish him, the Roish, as the head of Minel Nasi, and they appointed him the Nasi, Alehem. Yonasan ben Shol, what's Yonasan ben Shol? Yonasan, of course, was the prince next in line for the throne. And the coming of David, Yonasan tells David, V'ata timach al Yisrael, you'll rule on Yisrael, V'ani Mishnah, and I'll be your second in command, I'll be your viceroy. But for a prince to go over and give over the throne to somebody is a tremendous sign of anivus. So three cases of anivus, says the Gemara. Tilma Yonasan Shol, the Chaza, the Gorir Alma Basa David. What's the sign of anivus? Maybe he was reading the handwriting on the wall. He saw everybody was drawn after David, so therefore it wasn't his anivus. He saw that David was in first place. The name is Serenami, the Chazi, the Hillel, or the Finayu. They saw Hillel was greater in learning than them. And therefore, Rashi says that in the future, all the questions that will come to them will be embarrassing. So, Mela, there's not a raya of anivus. El Rav Shimon Gamliel, my father, Vadai Anva son. That Vadai is anivus. So now, Rebbe saw what happened to Reb Shimon, Rav Elazar Reb Shimon, that because of the Yisurim that he underwent, that he didn't putrefy. It took him between 18 years or 22 years. He was in the state of an addict, and he didn't putrefy. You see that the great Yisur must be that in this state he was able to go ahead on and survive. You know, in the state it was an amazing thing. So what did Rebbe do? Rebbe Chavim Yisurim v'Kiba Allah. He was Makabel Yisurim. Placed the Shanin. For 13 years he was Makabel Yisurim. Shis b'tzim mirta. 6 were what he had. Probably was a stone in his urinary tract. Ushva b'tziparn is a type of disease of the throat. Bimi lost shiva b'tzimirta, 7 years of this throat of this disease in the urinary tract, this stone. The shish b'tziparna and more than 6 years of this disease in his throat. Aharoya debate Rebbe, the stable boy of Rebbe's house, Havi Ater Yishava Malka. Yes, you want to say something to him? Have you Yishava Malka? He was richer than Shava Malka. He was richer than Shava Malka. Rebbe was understood was the exceedingly wealthy person. He used all his money to gather all the prices and all the people, the reciters of prices to put the Torah Shabbat together for us. And his stable boy was even richer than the Persian king. Says Taisus why? Aviyat Mishava Malka Pirish Mizevel Behemaisav Shel Rebbe. Because of the fertilizer from the behemoths of Rebbe, the dung that could use as fertilizer Rebbe, the Ashkan Nami Bereshis Rabbah, Zevel Behemaisav Shel Yitzchak, like Haspoi V'Zavash Shel Avimelech. So you say that dung can be worth a tremendous amount of money. So but he was the stable boy, and therefore he was extremely wealthy. Now, have a Rami Kista Lechevasa, and he would go ahead, he would feed the animals. Also, Kola Bitlasa Mili. You could hear their voices, the animals braying for 3 milk. Having Machavin Rami, he was Machavin. What was this? He was Machavin. What did he do? Having Machavin Rami Behahi Shaited the Rebbe Lebeya Kisei. He was Machavin, he synchronized. He synchronized the time, he fed the animals to the time that Rebbe had to go to the bathroom. Because since made a lot of noise, he wanted to cover up the noise from Rebbe, how painful it was for Rebbe to go to the bathroom because of his stone, his kidney stone. And by he shaited the isle Rebbe Lebeya, nonetheless, even the animals were screaming a tremendous amount. Rebbe's coil was heard larger than theirs. So you get an idea of how terrible shape Rebbe in fact was, how terrible shape Rebbe was, that he was going through this terrible Yisurim. The Shomolei Nechochi Yoma, and the people on the sea were able to go ahead and hear Rebbe scream. Afilu Hachi, nonetheless, Yisuri Lazar Reb Shimon Adifim the Rebbe. The Yisurim of Reb Lazar Reb Shimon were greater than the Yisurim of Rebbe. The Yisurim were even greater than Rebbe. The Ilu Yisurim shall Rebbe Lazar Reb Shimon may Avabo. They came as a result of Ava. He used to welcome them, Achai V'Reyo Ikami. He welcomed them in the evenings, and then he would say goodbye in the morning. He was Makal Ba'ava. Ava Helchu, and they left in the morning. However, the Rebbe
figured on himself in the first place,
because he saw how great it was. He saw that the Shimon didn't putrefy, and that he was in such good shape, the Reb Reb Shimon. So therefore, since Reb Reb Shimon, you saw the value that Yisurim had for him, the Rebbe decided to go through this. However, Rebbe asked for them, but it didn't come about as a result of the Ava, but really as a result of an action. The Rebbe they came about as a result of the action, and they left as a result of the reaction of an action. What's Alidei Maisa Bo? What was the Maisa that occurred that put the Yisum of Rebbe? Maihi. Who Agola? There was this calf. They're bringing it to the slaughterhouse. Uzzle and this Egel seemed to know where it was going, and Talia L'Reisha B'Chnafe the Rebbe. B'Kabachi, it went and it literally put its head under the Rebbe's coat, was crying. Amalei, Rebbe said to the calf, Zil, go to the Beis HaShrita, L'Kach Netzarta, that was the purpose you were created for. So Ami, in Shemayim, they said, Hoyav L'Kum Rachim, since Rebbe did not have Rachmanis on this Egel, Leisi Alei Yisurim, let him get Yisurim, by the Maisa, Holchu, and they left as a result of a Maisa. Havishadya Bei Yumachad Havika Konsha Amse the Rebbe Besa. The maidservant of Rebbe was cleaning the house. Havishadya B'nei Kakushta. On the ground, there seemed to be these little weasels. Because Kanashalahu, when she was gathering them up, right, the shifcha, I guess, to kill them. Amalah, Rebbe said, Shafkinu, leave them alone, and have rachmanas of them. Kasav, the rachma kol masav, says, and he has rachmanas and all his creations. They said, Shemayim, Hoyel, Merachim, Merachim Aleihim. Since he had rachmanas, we'll have rachmanas on him. So I have I thought I had something that somewhere, but I know it by heart. Anyway, I heard today, I listened to Spilly Bornstein, and he quoted a sefer called from Rabbi Yoel Weiss. I don't know, Magid Chadashim. I think it's Magid Chadashim, and he puts together this whole thing about Rebbe and what occurred with with the calf? Like what exactly really happened over the Chumash? But what really happened over? It's the Chumash right over here. There's the Chumash right over here. Like why is it seems to be a tremendous first of all, Rebbe and the need against Rebbe for this calf seems to be very extreme. So he brought down from the Megala Mukais. We spoke about the Megala Mukais. He's buried in. Okay, we told you the humble story about his Kvura. So Megala Mukais said that Rebbe was the Gilgal of Yaakov Avinu. Rebbe was the Gilgal of Yaakov Avinu. He said, Yudah Nasi is Neshama Shel Yaakov Avinu. Nun Saf Yud Aleph. He says, Neshama Shel Yaakov Avinu. You can't make this stuff up. He said that he was, that's what he was called, Yudah Nasi. He was the Neshama of Yaakov Avinu. And there are many ways that we see that. You see, for example, Pashas told us, Shnei Goyim, when the two twins fighting in the stomach, and she goes to shame, Rivka goes to shame, Shnei Goyim v'itnech. Rashi says, Shnei Goyim v'itnech. So Rebbe v'antoninus. So you see that Rebbe was what? It was a Gilgal of Yaakov. It was a Gilgal of Yaakov Avinu. Right? That Yaakov Avinu, Rebbe was 70 years in Sipuri, and Yaakov Avinu was Yaakov 17 years. So we find these commonalities between them. Anyway, the pasuk over here, I have to find the pasuk. Remember where it is. But our Chaim on this pasuk that Yaakov Avinu, he comes. It says Yaakov nasa Sukkoisa. Yaakov comes to Sukkos, but even on bias, he builds a house. Ul mikneu asa Sukkos, and for his what mikneu, for his animals, he went ahead and he made Sukkos. Al Kain Krush made some Sukkos. So it's Niskasha the Archaim. So why are you telling us that he made Sukkos for his animals? Why do you tell us he made Sukkos for his animals? Says the Archaim Hastus. This is the first time it was done. You see, Yaakov Avinu, he went ahead and he cared so much of his animals, he made special stalls for these animals. Not a barn, I guess they were traveling. He made special stalls for them and showed the tremendous rachmanis about he had an animal. So David Yoel Weiss, he said, a Gilgal has to be metaking for something in the previous generation. Certainly it can't corrupt something that previously had been established. Yaakov was already established as a person who had so much rachmanis on animals that he was going ahead and building special stalls for him. If Rebbe Yehuda Nasi was the Gilgal of Yaakov, then the need against him for not showing rachmanis on this animal was very powerful. I thought it was very geshmak of pshat. I thought it was a very geshmak of pshat. Okay, so but where I put it, I don't know. I thought I put it in here. Interesting. They did put it. Okay. Anyway, continuing along. Kula Shani Yisuri Rebbe Laza, all the years of the Yisurim of Rebbe Laza, Reb Shimon, like Shacha Binish place Imne. A person did not die before his time. The Ashpa they had on his generation, the person did not even die before his time. Kula Shani Yisuri the Rebbe La Yisrich Alma Lemitra, all the years of Rebbe, the world was never needed rain. All the years of Rebbe is going through the Yisurim, you didn't need rain. By the way, that 13 years of Rebbe, 13 is Ba'ava. That 13 says the Taras Chaim gematria is gematria of Ava. That's very, that's Yisurim is the gematria. Why 13 is gematria of Ava. This person is Makabel Yisurim of his love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And all the years of Rebbe, they didn't need rain. Dama Rabbi Bar Shila, Kasha Yuma Demitra Kiyuma Dedina. A brainy day is like hard. It's like the Yom Adin. It's not easy. If the world did not need rain, they would get rid of it. It's such a pain when things rain. The roads get muddy. People can't go out. Causes distress. I feel lucky nonetheless. Pugla Mishra in Rebbe's time when he was going through his Yisurim, if you go ahead and unpluck a radish from the ground, Havikaimi bira malya maya. The place of the radish where it been would fill with water. You see that how much water was available during the days of Rebbe. So Ikla Rebbe la'asrei Rebbe Lazar Reb Shimon. Now Rebbe came to the place of Yehuda Shimon after he died, and Amalahem he said to the people, "Yesh like Ben Leiset Tzaddik. Does this Ben Rebbe Lazar Reb Shimon have a son?" So Amalai they said, "Yeah, Yesh like Ben. He has a son. However, any zayna that you'd rent out for her services for 2, so she'd rent him out for 8. In other words, she would pay him for his nus. We're going through a whole sugya of the greatness of Lazar Shimon. Talk about Sagil Lubanim, right? Look what can happen. Look what can happen. So Asya asked for Rebbe. He came and Rebbe Rebbe called him smicha, gave him smicha. I think he called him Rebbe. I don't know if he gave him smicha, but he said whatever, gave him smicha unconditionally, but he called him Rebbe. In other words, he wanted to go ahead and make a desired Torah. So he gave him a lot of covet. But Ashlamei, the Reb Shimon ben Isi ben Lekanya, and Rebbe gave this child over to Reb Shimon, the son of Isi, the son of Lekanya, was Achais Te'imei, who was the brother of this boy's mother. So he was his uncle. He was his uncle. And Rebbe felt, guys, I saw this pshat. Most children go after the mother's brother. It says that Aaron married what? Not Aaron married Elisheva, the sister of Nachshon. So you see that Roiv Banim Hoch Achrei. So he felt that this is the uncle. He would go ahead and be very, metapel with him, since he would naturally be very similar to him in nature and inclined, and therefore he'd be Dafka Rebbe handpicked this person to go ahead and help the son of Rabbi Lazar Reb Shimon. Kol Yuma Havi Amar L'Kriyasi Ano Esel. The son of Rabbi Lazar Reb Shimon, all he wanted was go home. He wasn't interested in learning with Shmuel ben Isi. So Amalei Shmuel ben Isi told him, Chakim Avdu Yasach. You're a chacham. You're going to be a chacham. The gulasa did the hava parsu alecha, and a beggar of gold is going to go ahead and be spread around you. The Rabbi Kairulach, and you're going to be called Rebbe, and they're going to mechabed you. Viat amrit lekriyasa ani azil, and you want to go home? So Amalei, he was very moved by this, and Amalei, the son of Rabbi Lazar, said, "Moimai alas lashon shua, moimai lashon shua is azuvada. Okay, I'll stay here." And I love in the Gemara. The next line, the guy's a gadol, right? Like it's so easy, right? Oh. Reish Lakish jumped out of the water, went to learn, and boom. Anyway, Kigadol, as this child grew up and he became a Talmud Chacham, Asav Yosef, the Mesifta the Rebbe, came to Rebbe's yeshiva. And Shamei, the Kale, Rebbe heard his voice, and Omar, Hakala, the Lekale, the Rebbe Lazar Reb Shimon, sounds just like the voice of Rebbe Lazar Reb Shimon. So again, Rebbe had been used to it. They learned together, they were sitting on the floor together. So Rebbe said, Brehu, they told Rebbe that it's his son. So Kari Oler, Rebbe used the pasuk, Prit Sadik Eitz Chayim V'Lakech Nefashos Chacham. What does that mean? Prit Sadik Eitz Chayim. In the schus of the Tzaddik, Rebbe Lazar, so his peiros, his fruit, what is a Tzaddik? And then the next pasuk, right? Prit Sadik Eitz Chayim, Zer Rebbe Yossi, Rebbe Lazar, Rebbe Shimon, V'Lakech Nefashos Chacham. And the one who takes chacham for nefashos, who gives chacham to a nefesh, is Rabbi Shimon ben Isi ben Lekanya, who taught him the Torah. Kinoich nafshe, when this person, now we get his name was Rabbi Yossi. His name was, when he was dying, this son of Rabbi Lazar, Rabbi Shimon, when he was dying, Amtulam Arasa Davoi. After he died, they wanted to bring him up to be in Meiron with Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Lazar, Rabbi Shimon. There was a snake around the cave. Amalei, the people told the snake, Achna Achya, Pasach Picha, like last night when we said, let's bring Reb Shimon to rest, Rabbi Lazar to rest, and it opened the mouth. However, here, the Kanis Ben Etzulav like Paskule, it didn't open its mouth. Because the people thought the reason why not is Shizek Godlam Mizeh, because Rabbi Lazar was good in Rabbi Yossi, Yatsa Baskol V'Omra, Loim Fesha said Godlam Mizeh, not because that Rabbi Lazar was great in Rabbi Yossi, Elizeh, Hayibit Sar Ma'ara, Rabbi Lazar had the Tsar of Ma'ara, the Gemara in Shabbos, Lamed Gimel, where he was in the cave all the years with his father, Reb Shimon. Therefore, he had the schus, he got in, and therefore he couldn't get into the Tsar of Mara of the cave. Now, Rebbe seems to go ahead, he wants to go around and make sure that the next generation is doing well. Ikla Rebbe La'asei Reb Tarfon. He came to the town of Tarfon. Amalhu, he said to the people of the town, Yeishlei ben loiset tzaddik. So if Tarfon have a son, why show him a kapeches banav? Unfortunately, if Tarfon had a way of, when he wanted to make a point, he would say, I should bury my son. Unfortunately, he said it a few times, and therefore Rebbe wanted to make sure that it wasn't true. So Amalhu, they said to him, Ben Emo, he doesn't have a Ben, but Ben Bas Yeishlei. He has the son of a daughter. He has a grandson that's alive. She's a son of a daughter. No, it's the same thing as Rabbi Yossi. I saw like they brought the child to Rabbi. Amalei, Rabbi told him, "Ihadrit bach. If you go ahead and do tshuva, I'll give you my daughter in marriage." Hadebe, he did tshuva. Now, ikadiyami, some say nisava, that he married her v'gersha and he divorced her. Ikadiyami loy nisava, he did not marry her. El klal. They shouldn't say they are married because of the tshuva. What about Reish Lakish married only for the purpose of marrying it? Because Reish Lakish, they say, was privately. This was publicly. Reish Lakish was privately. But why do you need all this? Why is Rebbe going around? Right? The Amar of Yehuda Amarav, Vimilo Amar of Chia Barabba Amar of Yochanan, Vimilo Amar of Shmuel Bar Nachmeni Amar of Yonason, Kol Amalabed is Ben Chaber Torah, Zeicha V'Yoshev B'Yeshiva Shalmayla. Anyone who is Zeicha to teach the son of his friend Torah sits in the Yeshiva Shalmayla Shneimar in Toshuv. If you'll sit, Shivcha Lefanai Tamid, I'll place you in front of me all the time. The Cholam Alamed has been Ben Amoritz Torah. Afilu Hakadosh Baruch Hu goes to Gezer Mevatel B'Shvua. They'll be Mevatel Gezer because of this person Shneimar. In Toitzi Yaakov Mizaylel Kafi Sechye. Any Gezer that he made, what will help. Amra Panacham Yachnan Kol Shem Alamed Tamachacham Ubenoi Tamachacham. Anyone who's a Talmud Chacham and his sons of the Talmud Chacham, who ben benoi Talmud Chacham, and the third generation is the Talmud Chacham, Shuvin a Torah Pasekas Misar Lo'ilam. The Torah is not going to leave his generation forever. Shneimar, Bani Zeis Prisi, Ruchia She'alecha Udvaresh Shasanti Beficha, Le'emushu Mipicha, 1, Pizaracha 2, and Pizer Zaracha 3. Amar Shem Yatav Yadalam. So, Mi Amar, who said this? Amar Hashem. Shama HaKadosh Baruch Hu said it. I need Ari L'chavadav. I'm a guarantor in this loan. I'm a guarantor in this. The Torah returns to the Makom with Kviyas. When you go ahead and you teach your son Torah, it's going to Akash Baruch Hu, it will allow that person to reach the Maila of the generations. The Torah is Machzeres al Chsanya Shaloi. So I thought we'd spend a little time on this. I sent something out, but I have to get it on the screen over here. Let me just stop it for a second. Okay. This is a Sefer Torah Chayin that I born yesterday, guys. The Elef Torah Machzeres Al Chsanya Shaloi. It's a beautiful hergish in the end. Vim Taimar. Torah Machzeres, does the Torah go around? It's mashma, the Torah goes around and it returns to its source. It goes around. V'lohi muneches b'keren zavius. We're told that the Torah is lying in corners. Anyone who wants it should go get it. It's not that it goes to you. You have to go get the Torah. You should be guided to a place of Torah. And don't think it's going to come after you. The Torah is a very valid question. What do you mean Torah comes back to you? Your Torah doesn't come back to you. You have to go out and get the Torah. You have to go out. You have to go out and get. You have to go out and get it. The Nira, if you shenemar, it says, guys, it says in Parshas Veschanan. What does it say? Es advorim davar Hashem el kol kahalchem. Hashem spoke to kol kahalchem, all of your kahal, bahar kol gadol v'lo yosaf. A great kol, and it won't stop. And what does it mean, kol gadol v'lo yosaf? V'yikamadi Amar, lo safik shekoy lo yikayim lo'ilam. It's not a suffix that the kol of Torah at Sinai is around forever. The Inyan Temua, Lamai Nafkamina. If you have to go after the Torah, what does it mean that the Torah is around forever? Kol man Torah kaim lo'ilam. V'nira lefarish lefi shebeshas man Torah yoitza hashefa me'ita yisbarach. From the time man Torah came out, this flow from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the shpia al Har Sinai, and it infected, it manifested in Har Sinai. Kol Torah kula shebechsav ushebal peh medrash va'agadol. Everything was what was mushban Sinai. Hakol nema loy l'Moshe miSinai. Everything was told to Moshe. But I say a shefa, and that energy, kaim loylam is around forever. Va'ed. The whole Talmud, Vosik, any Talmud who is correct, Ha'isik b'Torah, l'shem shemayim, Hashefa hu machsa olav. He can tap into this Sheva, it's there, and he can tap into this energy. V'noyach olav, and it'll go ahead and it'll upon him. Uvika, and with it, l'chadesh chedushei HaTorah. With it, it allows you to be m'chadesh chedushei HaTorah, al yidei Hashefa through this energy, this Torah, shehu kidmus ruach hakodesh. It's like lahavdol, like ruach hakodesh that's there. V'hainu ma'ishakasav chachamim v'yidaber kimes kol hadivorim ha'ela. He kol mashe talmid vosik asil chadesh all chidushei Torah that take place. Hakol nemen b'Sinai. It was all said by Sinai. V'hainu d'chsiv kol gadol v'lo yosaf. A kol gadol, and then stop. Shekol shefem an Torah le'posik. Arayoim b'kaim la'olam. It's there. V'hainu da'amar mikan ve'elech. HaTorah machseres al achsanya shalah. Remez l'kol shefa hahu. For this coil of energy of Torah. She'eino chal ela b'makom shel talmidei chachamim mitzuyin. It only impacts upon what? The place where chachamim are mitzuyin. U'kushu talmid chacham vasuk u'b'noi ben b'noi u'shlosh n'chayomim kol shefa hahu machsa aleim ka'odam ha'machser al achsanya. Like, it returns to them like a person who returns to his favorite inn, and it doesn't stop forever. So it's a super piece to explain certain things that all chidushei Torah. I always wonder. You look at it, people have svarim. Yeah, it's amazing about the svarim that are based just upon the chamisha chumshei Torah, based upon the Gemara, which is based upon the chumshei Torah, based upon Rashi's that was everything expands. And throughout generations, people are able to mechadesh Torah. It doesn't end. People constantly chedushim. Now, all these chedushim are said at Sinai, and that hashpah is in the world. Where does that happen? Where does it manifest itself? So it's that hashpah that goes around. And when people learn, and he learns, and his children learn, and his grandchildren learn, that's where the Torah is going to go. It's not going to go to someone who's sitting on a street corner. It's there, but it's not going to find its way until the people who spend their time delving into Torah. My Rabbi Zatzal said after the war, he had unbelievable siyata d'shmaya. He didn't open up a sefer for 4 years. He didn't open up a sefer for 4 years. He was on the run from the Germans from 41 to 45. He didn't see a sefer. And he felt after the war, when he started learning again, he felt siyata d'shmaya, came back. He said kafle kaflayim. He said double and double that. He got tremendous siyata d'shmaya. Right? And anyone's VMO in my life myself early on when I was involved in learning on a much higher level, there was certain days that Kodesh Baruch Hu I felt was with me, and I was able to say things I never dreamed about. Or I certainly haven't said it in many years. I never said it in girls chinuch. 1 year I think said one thing I said. It didn't come, and that's the Torah. Of course, the Torah for you to learn Torah, you have to go get it. But once you're there and learning, that's what we're speaking about. Torah is machzeres, that hashpah that was given by Sinai, is described by the Torah Chaim. That's going to find its way to its address. I think everything was said at Sinai. Everything was said at Sinai. Rabbi Zera kisolik la'ara Yisrael. Rabbi Zera was in Bavel, but he went up to Eretz Yisrael. Yosef Meir Tanisa. He sat 100 Tanesim. What? That he should forget what? He should forget what? The learning of Bavel. Rashi explains the difference. It seems that in Bavel they were fighting back and forth, and Eretz Yisrael it was a different Torah. He wanted to forget that Torah. That he shouldn't be troubled to learn Torah in Eretz Yisrael, because they had a different limud. Yosef, Reb Zeira, Oid Meyat Achinasa, another 100. Leilishka, Reb Elazar, B'shnei, that Reb Elazar ben Padish not during his lifetime. Nafli Lave Emili Tzibur. Reb Elazar was the murder of Yisrael. He was involved in all the politics and all different things. And Reb Zeira davened that he should live, so Reb Zeira wouldn't have to get involved with it. The Yosef Meya Achrina, a third set of 100 Tanesim, Nishlat Be Nur the Gehenim, that he shouldn't be what affected by the light of Gehenim. Kol Til Siyuma every 30 days. Havi Badik Navshe, he would go ahead and check himself. He'd light an oven. Shagab Tanura, he'd light an oven. Looking. The Yosef sitting in the oven. And it didn't affect him. The oven, and he burnt his thighs. Karile, they called him Katin Charach Shake. The small one, I guess he was short in stature, of burnt thighs. Marsha says that Lashon of Zera comes from Zeira. He was always like young, like short. He was always small. I'm not viewed Damarav. I had a kasha on the thing. Even if it doesn't burn you in this world, we know the fire of Gehenim is much worse than. So what's the raya for the fire of Gehenim? That's the stomach kasha. I'm not viewed Damarav. My dechsiv says by the Churban by a Svishain. Mir yishachacham b'yavin esleis. Shadiba pi Hashem elov v'yageda alma of the aretz. That was that. I was asking, why was the Beis Hamikdash destroyed? So Amru Chachamim Blei Pershua. They said Mi Yashachacham the Chacham. They couldn't explain it. Amru Neviim Shadiba pi Hashem elov. They also couldn't explain it. Blei Pershua Shapir Shakodesh Baruch Hu B'Atzmo Shnemar V'Yoyim Hashem. You know why the Eretz Yisrael was destroyed? Al Ozva Mes Tayrasi. They destroyed my Torah. Asher Nasat Lefneim. I'm Rabbi Yehuda Amamar. What does it mean? They left my Torah. They birchu b'Torah tchila. They made the birchas of Torah tchila in the morning that they were supposed to. Now that's again. There's a ran in the Darim and Pei Aleph guys. Rabbi Yoina, take a look. That's the Marmokan. Okay, it's the ran Pei Aleph the Darim Pei Aleph Amid Aleph. The ran quotes the Rabbi Yoina. That's the place to explain this Gemara. He's the balabas of the sugya. Amrav Chava Maidich Siv. Believe Navoin Tenua Chachma, and the lave of a Chacham that Chachma resides, will be Kerev Ksilim, Tivadea. Believe Navoin Tenua Chachma, said Talmud Chacham ben Talmud Chacham. The Talmud Chacham, the son of the Talmud Chacham, will be Kerev Ksilim Tivada, said Talmud Chacham ben Amaretz. Right, he doesn't, right, Sheni Yedea B'Torah, right, in Hamat Shedea Mashmil Enikol. In other words, the Talmud Chacham, he doesn't let it known to other people. But the Talmud Chacham ben Amoritz, he lets it known to other people. He has to let people know he's a Talmud Chacham, so he's always expanding it. So people say astira, a seller, bilagina in a kli. So you have one guy, so if you have one seller in a kli, so kish kari, like a kapushka. You shake it, it's going to make a lot of noise. So the Talmud Chacham is of Amoritz. You have this kli of Amoritz that's completely empty. You have the coin, the Talmud Chacham in there. You shake it, and he's heard. Omli Rav Yirmiyah Reb Zera. My dechsiv cotton v'gadol shamhu. In this world, that the cotton and the gadol are equal, right? And so the eved chavshi me'adainov, and the eved gets free from his master. Atalo yadina the cotton gadol shamhu. Don't we know that a cotton and gadol are in this world, that they're equal in this world? Ella kolam. Anyone who's humble about divrei Torah in this world, nasa gadol becomes a gadol. Lo'elam haba. Anyone who makes himself like an eved, al divrei Torah b'olam hazeh, nasa chavshi lo'elam haba becomes free in the next world. Reish Lakish having mitzayin marasid rabbanan. Reish Lakish was going ahead what, and he was putting lime around the caves of Talmidei Chachamim. Why was he doing this? Rashi says. Mitzayim arasan d'Rabbanan shlei koshlu kahanim. The kahanim should not be nichshol. Lavar aleim to pass over them with a halil and to be amal on them. Shlei Torah takala yidei tzadikim. This is Rashi is very interesting, guys. This big Torah on is the kever of a tzaddik tamei or not. At tzadikim etama. Can a kohen go to the kever of a goyin with Talmud Chacham based upon this Rashi? Not right. What? No, Stamasa. I mean, they're not being Talmud Mason. What? Huh? And I'm saying, but again, this shaila, right? There's a coin. The coin is a shaila. Can you do? So based on, you don't. But I'm saying, but it is. There's a shaila. Yeah. It's a shaila. So you see, this is a source for this. Rashi is a source for not to. Or so Reish Lakish going ahead and putting lime around them to go ahead and protect the kahanim, right? So this is a source in this Rashi that you should. When he got to the cave of Reb, So now we're going to speak about Rav Chia. Guys, why do you know about Rav Chia? Rav Chia was a Talmud of Rabbi, and he was Chavivi. He was the uncle of Rav. He was the uncle of Rav. He was the last of the Tanoim, that period of Tanoim, Rav Chia. So now, so he got to Kimato Lamati Rav Chia. He got there. He wasn't able to go ahead and find the place. So why can't I find his grave? Yatz the baskel v'amaloi Torah kamaisei pilpata. You want mefatl and Torah kamaisei, but loy batzta. You want marbitz Torah like Rav Chia. Rav Chia was the ultimate marbitz Torah. We're gonna see in a second a very famous gemara. These agaritas are priceless. They're forever. Ki avim minsu Rabbi Chanina v'Rav Chia. When the great Rav Chanina Bar Chama would argue Rav Chia, Amru lo Rav Chanina Rav Chia. Fighting with me? If not for me, Torah would have been forgotten from Yisrael. If it would have been forgotten, says Rebbe Chanina, I would be able to bring it back. If Torah was forgotten, I'd be able to bring it back. And you're fighting with me? So only Reb Chanina said Reb Chia to Reb Chanina, you're fighting with me, said Reb Chia. The Torah would like Tishach Yisrael. You're saying that if Torah was forgotten, I can bring it back. I'm telling you that I make sure Torah is not forgotten. What do you say? I'll see you and I'll raise you, right? I'll see you and I'll raise you. Now listen what he did. It's fabulous shot. What did he do? Maya Virita, what did he do? As Lina Vishadina, he went Vishadina Kisna and he planted flax. The Godilna Nishpe, and he went ahead and he went and made nets out of the flax. He wove them together and he made nets. With Sayadei Tavi, he would then capture deers. He would shech the deers. Umachilna b'Srael liyasme. He'd feed the venison to the Yisraelim. The Arichna Migilasa. He would go ahead and tan the hides. Ukasva Chamisha Chumshei. And he write on the hides. He writes Chamisha Chumshei Torah. The Salikna Lamas. He go to the cities. To this Umekraina Chamisha Yankiv Chamisha Chumshei. He would teach 5 to 5 kids. He would teach kids Chamisha Torah. He teach one kid gracious, one kid shmois, and so on. Umasnina Shisa Yenuke, and he would go ahead and teach Baal Peh 6 Yenuke, Shisa Sidre, the 6 Mishnayos. It was Torah Shabbat Peh at that time. But Marnalahu, and I would tell them, Ad the Hadrana Vasina, until I come back and I return to you. Akra Adadi, go ahead and Chazariba, and you teach the other one. But Asnei Adadi, and then the Torah as a result, it was that Torah should not be forgotten for Yisrael. So Rabbi Chia is telling Rabbi Chanina that one up and look what I did. So I saw a beautiful hezbollah from Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky. It says like this: why couldn't he just buy the nets? Why couldn't he just buy the cloth? And it's the same reason that Rabbi Yaakov Aaron Kotler said that the Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva had to die. Because for Torah to be Mekuyim, it has to be in its purest form. Torah has to be in its purest form. So he wanted to make sure from soup to nuts, there's no question about maybe the nets were stolen, maybe he bought them for ribbis, right? Maybe in the McGill, who knows? So to make sure that everything was perfect, he took it from the beginning to the end. It's the same thing. Rav Aaron Zatzal said, why did Talmidim and Rabbi Akiva have to die? Just because they weren't not covered between each other? So Rav Aaron, if these are the Messiah of Torah, the next generation, that's their ruling Torah. There's a pagam in the Torah. The Torah is not pure Torah because why? Because they weren't covered. It had to be a pure Torah, and this Rabbi Akiva found his 5 Talmidim, and as a result, so it's very so. Yeah, it has to be like that. Okay, it's a beautiful hesba from Hainu the Amro Rebbe. That's what Rebbe said. How great are the actions of Chia? Amr Rebbe Yeshua, Amr Rebbe late Rebbe Yishmael, Rebbe Yossi to Rebbe aren't his actions greater than Rebbe Chia? I feel mimar even than yours. Amalei Rebbe said, they are greater, right? I feel mi Abba even from your father Rebbe Yossi. Amalei Rabbi chas v'chalila. Let take my susa. No one like Rabbi Yossi. I'm Rabbi Seira. Emesh nearly Rabbi Yossi v'chanina. In a dream, I saw Rabbi Yossi v'chanina. And he told me, Eitzel miata tekua. Who are you sitting next to? V'amali Eitzel Rabbi Yochanan. I'm sitting next to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan Eitzel me. Who's Rabbi Yochanan sitting next to? Eitzel Rabbi Yanai. Rabbi Yanai Eitzel me. Eitzel Rabbi Chanina. Rabbi Chanina Eitzel me. Eitzel Rabbi Chia. Amarti loy Rabbi Yochanan Eitzel Rabbi Chia loy. Why can't Rabbi Yochanan sit directly against Rabbi Chia? So Amali ba'asa this cook in the Noira will be in the Asha. In a place where what they have sparks and Aish and Lapid Aish, Man Maila by Nafka Kamon, in the place where this fire can the by Nafka, that's Rabbi Yochanan, who was what was he was a blacksmith. Could he go ahead what and enter? I guess he could enter there. Rab Chaviva, Ishtoi Li, Rab Chaviva bar Sumke. I saw they told me about Rab Chaviva bar Sumke, Chazale, Hahum Rabbanon, Davishchichi Eliyahu Gabei. Eliyahu used to visit him. Safra have a shapirin einai. In the morning, his eyes were beautiful. At night, damya kidemikla benura. I saw his eyes; they were like burnt out from fire. Amrulay my high. What's his geshain? Bamali Amruli Eliyahu. I guess Eliyahu. Achveli Rabbanan kisokum sifter rakia. When I go to the sifter rakia, show me the Rabbanan. Amali bekuloi matzisilas tekuli. Able to look at all of them. Behu levar may go. Hakna the Reb Chia. You're not able to look what at the Guhakna of Reb Chia. What's the Guhakna? As he types it. What? The throne. The throne, yeah. The throne. You can't look at the throne. Hidarta the throne. You can't look at the throne of. You can see the thrones, but you can't look at the throne of Reb Chia. The light to stakelbe, you can't look at it. So my siminayu, what's the simin to know? So bekuloi, all the thrones, oslu malche kisolke v'nachte. All the thrones, the malachim, they would go ahead, they would carry them. The vam may go hakna the rabchia, the nafish the minafshe solk minachis. It would go by itself, right? No malachim would just float up by itself. Anyway, lematz is looking at nafshe. This poor person was not able to go ahead. What? And stop and mistakely. He looked at the throne of Rabbi Chia. Also, Trey Butite Dinura came out 2 shoots of iron. And it blinded him. It blinded him totally. The next day, the person went and he put himself on the grave of Rabbi Chia. And Amina Masnisan Dimar Masnisan. I went ahead. I go ahead and I say, the Tosefta Samar, I learned them all the time, and this Tasa and he made me better, Eliyahu Havishachiv b'Masifta the Rebbe. He was found in the yeshiva of Rabbi. Yom Echad Reish Yar Chahave was Reish Chodesh. Nagalei Layasa. Rabbi Eliyahu was late in coming. So Amalei Rabbi, when he finally showed up, Amalei Rabbi asked him, "My time Nagalei Lamar, why were you late?" So Amalei told him, I was late coming because of what of I stopped by Abraham Avinu. Umashninu yodei umatzlei. I washed his hands and davened. Umagnina lei, and then I returned. And he lied down again. V'chein li Yitzchak, v'chein li Yaakov. But look me behind that daddy. Why don't you do it all together? Why don't you go ahead and one at a time? The Savi b'Shemayim. If they would come together, all of them, and they would daven all at the same time, that would be Mashiach Shalei Bismana. So therefore, they had a daven at different times. So I don't know exactly. I'm not exactly. This is about my pay grade. I think so.
So why wasn't he late every day?
Okay, Amalei. The yesh dugmasa b'olam hazeh is there dugma in this world? So Amalei Eliyahu said, "Ikar Reb Chia banav." You want to dimya to that to the Avos? There's Reb Chia and his sons. Gaza Rebbe Tanisa, right? Rebbe was going to Tainus because I guess in Tarma they needed rain. And again, this wasn't the 13 years that Rebbe was fasting. Achsinul Rebbe Chia ubanov, and they brought Rav Chia and his sons to daven. Rav Chia, Mashav Ruach, V'Nash V'Zika. Rav Chia, Marad Geshem, V'Asa Mitra. Kimato L'Meima Mechayim Mesim. They got to the Chayim Mesim. Rogash Alma, the world started shaking. Brakia, they said in Shemayim, Man Goli Razia Ba'alma. Who's revealing my secrets to the world? So Amro, Elio says, Isul Elio. Elio is the one who gave at the hint about Rav Chia Ubanov. So Isul Elio, they brought up Elio, Machyuhu, they gave him Malchus, Shishim Pulsi Denure with 60 flagellations of fire. Asa Idmilahu Kiduva Denura. They came and they came in front of Rav Chia and his sons, and it seemed mispalim like what? Like a beer of fire. Al Beinayu v'Tradrinu. In other words, they scared them to stop them from saying Mechayim Mesim because that would have brought the end to everything.
Yeah.